Have you ever tried to freeze fresh corn? It's not really that hard. Let me show you how. So first what we have to do is we have to peel all of the corn. I do this outside just because it makes so much of a mess. So just make sure that you peel all the corn. You take off all those little fluffy, silky things. And then I take off the ends that I'm not going to use. And then just make sure you take all of this stuff off. I'm going to continue, get those all done, and I'll show you the next steps. Next, you want to get a big pot and bring it to a complete boil. We're going to drop our corn in the boiling water and we're going to put it in here for 3 minutes, and that's it. So we'll get that in there and we'll set the timer for 3 minutes. There we go. Put a cover on it. Timer's on for 3 minutes. While our corn is cooking, I want to show you something. A lot of people right now are going to farmers markets. Family members might be giving them preservatives, but I want to show you something from a safety perspective. So look at this. I made these refrigerator pickles. These are not meant to be stored, say, in a fruit cellar or something like that. So they're not a true preservative. They're a refrigerator pickle. They're really easy to make. But what I wanted to show you is if you are purchasing some sort of homemade canned item or a family member gives you something, you don't want to hear this. And that's really important, because what can happen is that because this is just meant to be in the fridge, I've just put the lid on here, but what can actually happen is if this happens when you're preserving things and you're leaving them in a root cellar, mold can develop on the top of this and it can make you really sick. So just be super careful if you're getting preservatives from a family member or even a farmer's market, because I don't want you to get sick. Next, what we want to do is get a great big bowl and fill it with cold water. So you can either use really cold tap water or ice water. I'll fill this up and I'll show you what we do next. So I'm going to take the corn that was in our big pot and I'm just going to drop it into this little ice bath. The whole purpose of using an ice bath is that we want this corn to cool down completely and to stop cooking. So you're only wanting to put this in here for just 3 minutes, and then we'll just let this sit in this ice bath until it's completely cooled. So once your corn has cooled completely, what you want to do is use a little paring knife, whatever you find the easiest to cut your corn from the cob, and you're just going to trim all of the corn off of the cob. I'm just going to use these freezer bags for my corn, but if you had something different, it's just fine. You can either use a measuring cup and measure how much corn that you want in each bag. Sometimes people find that helpful if they've got certain recipes that they use. For me, I'm just gonna guess how much corn I need. I'll probably just divide it up into 2 bags, and that's it. One thing you do want to watch is there is quite a bit of water. So if you are doing a lot of corn, you might want to do this in a bowl, because then you don't get all of that water from the bottom. That is probably something helpful to do. Because I'm just doing this little amount for today, then this will work. I just don't want a ton of that water in with the corn. So that's it. We're just gonna try to take as much of the air out of these. I don't have like a vacuum sealer or anything, so we'll try to take as much of the air out of these as possible, flatten them out, then it's less freezer space. And then I always like to mark on these bags. I'll put date. That's it. Learning different ways to preserve food is not only going to save you money, it helps you know exactly what's in the food that you're feeding your family. If you liked freezing corn, you may also like the video on your screen right now where I show you exactly what I do to freeze beans, and it's really easy. If that doesn't sound like it's interesting to you, YouTube thinks that you might like this video instead. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.